I move that the committee favorably report the nomination of the Honorable Scott Bessent of South Carolina to be Treasury Secretary. Is there a second?
I second.
Having been duly seconded, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Grassley.
Aye.
Mr. Grassley, aye. Mr. Cornyn.
Aye.
Mr. Cornyn, aye. Mr. Thune.
Aye.
Mr. Thune, aye. Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Scott, aye. Mr. Cassidy.
Aye.
Mr. Cassidy, aye. Mr. Langford.
Aye.
Mr. Langford, aye. Mr. Daines.
Aye.
Mr. Daines, aye. Mr. Young. Mr. Young, aye. Mr. Barrasso. Mr. Barrasso, aye. Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson, aye. Mr. Tillis.
Aye.
Mr. Tillis, aye. Mrs. Blackburn. Mrs. Blackburn, aye. Mr. Marshall.
Aye.
Mr. Marshall, aye. Mr. Wyden.
No.
Mr. Wyden, no. Mrs. Cantwell. Ms. Cantwell, no. Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, no. Mr. Warner.
Aye.
Mr. Warner, aye. Mr. Whitehouse.
No.
Mr. Whitehouse, no. Ms. Hassan.
Aye.
Ms. Hassan, aye. Ms. Cortez Masto. Ms. Cortez Masto, no. Ms. Warren.
No by proxy.
Ms. Warren, no by proxy. Mr. Sanders.
No.
Mr. Sanders, no. Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith, no. Mr. Lujan. Mr. Lujan, no. Mr. Warnock.
No.
Mr. Warnock, no. Mr. Welch. Mr. Welch, no. Mr. Chairman.
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Mr. Chairman, the final tally is 16 ayes, 11 nays.
Thank you. The nomination is reported favorably. I appreciate all of your attendance today at this meeting, and the committee stands in recess.